Kimberly with Mystic Mountain Homestead and Skiatook Bee Supply. And today we are going to do our episode 5 of Come Prepare With Us. And right now we feel like it's more important than ever that you stockpile some extra food in your home. And it's a wonderful time of the year to have some natural produce, maybe from your garden or your local farmer's market, that you can preserve. And one of the ways that you can preserve easily, and you don't even have to know how to can to do this, is to do some dehydration. And what I'm going to talk about today is just that, dehydrating food. And you can sun dry food if you live in a place that is not really high humidity. I've done sun dehydration, but I also like to use my dehydrating machine. And I have upgraded my dehydrating machine. I went through 2 of them, and the older one that I had, I actually bought at a garage sale. It worked great for several years, and then it gave it up. I bought another one just like it, and it was one of the round style with several trays on it. And I thought, okay, I'll have these trays, I can interchange them for it, and it only lasted 6 months. So I did upgrade my dehydrator to this Magic Mill dehydrator. This one's a 10 frame. I really like it. It holds 10 different trays, and they're stainless steel. They're not plastic like my old one. I have just really fell in love with this one, and we are not getting any paid promotions for talking about this. I'm just telling you about what I really love. So I really like this dehydrator, and I've been keeping it running almost all summer long with one food right after the other. We have done bell peppers and tomatoes and some peaches and all kinds of different things. And as you can see right here on the table, we've got rose petals. We use these for teas. These are from one of my neighbor's rose bushes, and she's like, let's dehydrate those so we can make some wonderful teas. We also have bananas. I got a really great deal at the grocery store on some organic bananas, and as you can see, I'm just using whatever jars that I can find to put them in. But these are not going to look the same as the ones that you buy in the grocery store that are dehydrated for snacks. And the reason why is they use chemicals on those to make them keep them color and have a different look to them. But I guarantee you, you're going to like these so much better than those ones you buy at the store, because these have got really good flavor like this. It's just like the other ones are dull in flavor, and these are just fantastic. They're not as pretty, some people might say, because they don't look like a freshly sliced banana, but they taste fantastic. We also have some orange slices here, little orange slices that we've dried. And these, of course, are going to be dark in color, but we put them in some water, and you could rehydrate them easily for use. This is some beef jerky that we've made, and we keep it just for snacks or for trekking and things like that. And then these are apricots. Now these apricots are thicker, and they're still really moist, so these are going to have to be used up quickly. But when I dehydrate, I always like to dehydrate everything down to where it's crisp, and that way it has a longer shelf life when you do that. So this is not the same as freeze drying, because freeze drying, you will definitely have 25 to 30 year shelf life with a freeze dryer. But for just the average person who don't have the money to spend on a freeze dryer, and I'm not saying they're not awesome, because they are, this is a fantastic way to preserve some of your harvest. Now, right now, what we're finding in season is lots of zucchinis, and I know everybody's sick of zucchini bread already. You're always looking for a recipe. You're giving them away. People are finding them in their cars because people have so many, they don't want to throw them away, but they want to give them to somebody. Or some of them have got really big, and people don't like to use them. But this is one of the things that I like to do with the zucchinis. We'll cut them into thin slices, and then I'll season them. I'll put a little sea salt on them, a little smoked paprika. If you like them spicy, you can use a little cayenne. You can just use the seasonings that you want to use. I think I even put a little turmeric on here for its properties. But you can season the way you want, and they make fantastic chips for dipping. Or if you're keto like me, then this is a wonderful way to have a snack and not cheat, but feel like you're cheating because you're getting the crunch. Also, with the yellow squash, and I've already worked up all my yellow squash, But look at this. This is not pretty to look at in the jar. But I can make a casserole with this. I shredded it and dehydrated it. And I can pack a lot into this jar. And then when I put it in to make my casserole, I'll add chicken broth, maybe like cream of chicken, something like that in there with some minced celery and some herbs. And it can make a fantastic casserole. And if I'm staying on the keto side of that, I will use some nutritional yeast on top, maybe a little inside, and let it toast on top to get that slightly crunchy topping on top of it. So it's a way to use zucchini and have it for the winter time, or for much later than just this year. It'll probably be good for a couple years like this stored. So when I'm doing this things, like right now when we were looking at the dehydrator, I'm going to stop this and we'll just look inside here. This is some of the shredded yellow squash, and you can see this is ready to come out. This is nice and crisp and dried, and I'll be adding this to that jar after it cools just a little bit. Now look at this. This is some that I actually made zoodles with, which that would be like zucchini or squash noodles. And being keto, this is a big thing for me because I can have this with a wonderful tomatoey meat sauce, and I just feel like I've had a big old bowl of spaghetti. So it's wonderful, and you can cut them in different ways. And I actually have a little food chopper that does these little shreds for me, and maybe we'll do that on one of our next videos. But this is a great way to be able to store some zoodles back for winter time, and you can have those wonderful zucchini type noodles. Of course, here's some of our yellow squash that we've stored back. We're making into chips, and so these are ready to come out as well. There's several different trays. This is the ones that came with our food dehydrator, our magic meal, these stainless steel, and I really like them. But I ordered these, I think I got these off Amazon, and these are these little silicone trays that I can put stuff on too, because if I worry about herbs and things falling through, or if I'm doing some type of fruit leather, I can use this here in our dehydrator, and it works really good, and I really like it. And these also are going to be ready to remove. We'll pull those out and let them cool. Here's some more of our little, a small zucchini. But these little chips are great for dipping, or, for just crunching on. So these are going to be great. And this is how we're using our food dehydrator. We're using it for fruits, for vegetables, for herbs, just all kinds of things. I had sage from the garden that I run it through the dehydrator. And of course, when you do herbs, you're going to want to do those on really low, like 135, because you don't want to lose the properties of any of your food. So always watch your directions really close on that. But this is going to be great, because then at Thanksgiving time, I'm going to be able to make my own sage stuffing for our Thanksgiving dinner, and with this fresh from the garden, from my own garden. And so here's some figs. Also, we did figs. We have a fig tree. I have a really cool story about a fig tree, but I don't have time to talk about it today. But these originated from Greece. The plant did, and it was brought by someone special years and years ago, and she's gone now. But she gave me the start of this fig tree, and so we can dehydrate our own figs. And these are just wonderful for a treat, or sometimes I've actually taken them, rehydrated them, and made fresh fig wine. I've made figgy pudding.
They're really pretty dehydrated too.
They are pretty, and not everything turns out beautiful dehydrated.
Right.
But when you rehydrate it, it can be useful. Lemons can look pretty rough when they're dehydrated. They turn kind of a dark color, but you can rehydrate those. And if you're going to use apples like on top of a plate or a dish or something, and you want to dip them in lemon juice, it helps preserve their look and their freshness a little bit longer. I have not had fresh lemons, and went and got dehydrated lemons and let them sit in a little bowl of water for a few minutes, and then been able to squeeze them and use that lemon water to dip my apple slices in. This is some lemon peel, and I use that in some of my teas. So we've got lemon peels in here, and then I do orange peels the same way. So this can be used in different teas. And in the wintertime, I like a nice cup of tea. But I want it to have some nutritional value as well. So this is one of the things that we like to do, as well as sun-dried tomatoes for fresh pizzas with like goat cheese and dried basil. So it can make a real treat. And so this is one way you can start preparing by just saving things. It doesn't have to go bad. If you see things in your refrigerator that you're not using up quick enough, you know, you can dehydrate that, whether you're getting it from the grocery store, you're getting it from a farmer's market, you're getting it from a neighbor that has an excess of zucchinis, or from your own garden that you've been able to grow. This is a way to prepare for the future and have some things stored back in this time when prices are soaring in all directions and there's a lot of unavailabilities in our food supply. So I hope this is helpful to everyone today. And if you have questions, you're welcome to, let us know. Put those questions down below, and we'll do our best to answer those questions about dehydration and food preservation. And please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and please share this with some of your friends and family, because we want everybody to be prepared for the months ahead. Have a good day.